we're back here on Sports 225. Cade Voisin from 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge. I am Hunt Palmer, senior writer over at BayouBengalsInsider.com. Our first installment of the 2012 Prep segment. We'll be with you all season long talking about Baton Rouge area preps. We'll be covering the games. Cade's got them over at 104.5. You can listen to him all season long there. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We've hit 5A, 4A, and 3A. Now we're going to dive into 2A, where there is a lot of talent at one area of Baton Rouge school, U-High, a team that went through the regular season undefeated last year, and they've got a ton of talent returning.
Yeah, U-High is definitely loaded. Running back Nick Brissett, who's still a sophomore. We've been talking about this kid, it seems like forever. And then there's a very talented man on the defensive side in Tim Williams. Quarterbacks, not only talented, but the names stand out, and certainly Nick Cragthorpe. They have not taken a step back from their semifinal appearance last year. On the other side, I think we'll talk about Episcopal lost a lot of guys, but U-High returns a lot of talent, a lot of leadership, a lot of strong players, and I really think for Coach Chad Mahaffey, this is a team that is dome potential.
It absolutely is. U-High, a team, it's shocking. A 2A team can have this much talent stockpiled. You talked about Nick Brissett, just a sophomore. He's got offers from everybody around the country, USC, LSU. He's an incredible running back, ran for over 1,000 yards as an 8th grader 2 years ago, which is just almost impossible to think about. And we're going to be talking about Tim Williams a lot on this show all season long. He's a guy who's really the biggest fish in the LSU pond right now. LSU's got 23 commitments for the class right now. They're looking to fill those last couple spots, and Tim Williams is the biggest guy on the board. He's a defensive end with elite pass rush ability. When he wants to, he can change games off the edge. He's a guy that's going to translate to the SEC or wherever he may go and really, really crank it up on the edge. He's a guy that's looking at Florida State. Alabama's in the mix. I think LSU's still squarely in the mix. Talk about Garrett Brumfield, a junior on the offensive line who, as a 2A level, is got an LSU offer, which is just really, really hard to believe. I think it's something to watch with U-High. They lost Tristan Cooper, the son of former LSU defensive back Ron Cooper, who was a great athlete. Ron Cooper took a job with the Buccaneers. Tristan Cooper out. I think that's going to hurt U-High a little bit because he's such a dynamic playmaker on both sides of the ball. But when the team's got that much Division I talent at the 2A level, you've always got to watch it. A team that lost some Division I talent, the 2A level, Episcopal.
Yeah, Episcopal lost their quarterback, Vincent Delicano, a guy who played offense and defense, kind of linebacker, running back, Mike Henry, I believe tight end Tyler Harris. So, and then Brian Bridgewater, a guy who transferred. So not only one of the talents they had surprisingly last year when he went out and played football, he's not there anymore. It's going to be a rough year for Episcopal, a team that competed all year long for that district title and went as far as the semifinals. We thought maybe we'd see a possible dome matchup between those two, but it wasn't to be. And Episcopal losing so much, not to say that Coach Travis Bourgeois can't pick these guys up and have a successful year. Playoffs certainly is something in contention for them, but losing that much is going to be tough to make a long run.
Always tough to lose your quarterback, especially as one as athletic as Vincent Delicano. We talked about Bridgewater transferred over to Scotlandville. He's going to focus on basketball, it looks like, for now. Scotlandville, obviously the state champs last year in 5A, and he can really develop his game there. He's got offers from LSU and Alabama on the football field, but I don't think he's going to play football this year at Scotlandville. He's really torn up the AAU circuit this summer. You talked about Tyler Harris, a defensive end tight end that Episcopal lost. He went up to Wake Forest, so that's a very nice offer, a solid ACC school for him. It's just tough to replace that much talent at the 2A level. We'll talk about another school here in 2A that you think maybe some people are overlooking, and that'd be Dunham.
Yeah, Dunham under head coach Guy Mastretta is under their second year of his realm there. 4-7, they kind of snuck into the playoffs last year. Maybe a lot of people weren't thinking they'd get into the postseason, but just hearing a lot of things of in year 2 of Guy Mastretta and what he's done back to his days at Redemptorist. I really think we're seeing a stride at Dunham, and they're going to make a push. Maybe they kind of replace what Episcopal did last year as far as the team that kind of comes up and gives U-High a run for their money.
Yeah, I like Dunham this year. I like Guy Mastretta, what he's done with that program in 1 year. Year 2 is always a big step when you talk about a coaching change and bringing that program along. We'll transition into 1A, the last classification we'll touch on today. West St. John, a team that certainly we need to be looking out for.
Yeah, that's a team that is coming off a runner-up in 2011 to Watchtower Christian. A lot of North Louisiana schools. I don't know what's in the food, what's in the blood over there.
We're just big, strong. We're just big and strong. We take over.
You've got some veterans coming back. You got a guy in Austin Howard who is a quarterback. He's a mobile guy. You've got a running back in Kylan Favorite who is, I think, a very, very talented young man, and you may see him coming across on the recruiting radars as well. But Coach Robert Valdez, It's his 5th year at that school, and it's something kind of an overall theme. 9-1A, the district they're in, there's 4 new coaches. He's the longest tenured coach there, and probably one of the longest tenured coaches in the area. We've had just numerous changes at the head coaching position all around the parish, and we mentioned Sid going back to Central, but it's just, I think the consistency of the head coaching position is such key at the high school level. You may not see these guys being head coaches for 10, 12, 15, 20 years anymore, and with that consistency of having Robert Valdez there at West St. John, I think that gives them the heads up with the talent as well.
Right, and I cover a team that has a little bit of consistency as well. Les Miles has been at LSU since '05. You look at the kind of foundation he's laid here and how well that program's progressing. There's no doubt that having the same coach and keeping your staff intact really helps in continuity. I think West St. John, it's amazing how much talent that school has put out, from the guys like Tyson Jackson, Quinn Johnson, who played in the NFL, Ronnie Feast at LSU is a freshman who may get on the field. They're moving him to middle linebacker, but he's a guy that could get on the field from 1A to the SEC, which is really unbelievable to think about. Another thing I want to mention in 1A, Kendall Bestwick, the quarterback for West Feliciana, he may be the best player in the state if Tim Williams is not the best player in the state. And I think when you've got a dynamic player like that who's going to play quarterback for them, he's probably a linebacker in the SEC, but he's going to play quarterback for them. They're always going to be a team to watch when you've got a guy that athletic with his hands on the ball all the time. So, Cade, that's our look at 5A through 1A here in the Baton Rouge area. The Jamborees are this weekend. We'll be back next week to talk about those. Where can they hear you? We'll do a Louisiana Prep preview show each and every Friday, starting this Friday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 6 o'clock. We'll kind of get you ready for the games going on that each and every week. This week with the Jamborees, more of a preview, kind of like we're doing here. We'll talk to a couple of writers and reporters in the area, and then at 9:30. Following Catholic High football on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge throughout the high school football season, we'll have Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, myself, Coach Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, Trey the Hammer Honore, a Baton Rouge legend. We'll get you all the scores, we'll get you all the coaches' reactions, and kind of gauge what's going on for the following week, so we look forward to covering it. Absolutely. You got to check Cade out. He is unbelievable, does a great job with all your high school football coverage. It's a big deal down here, and we can't wait for it to start. We can't wait to be here all season long. If you want to come over to BayouBengalsInsider.com, we really encourage you to do that. We can get a free 7-day trial. Just come on over. We got the best in local LSU coverage. We cover recruiting, football, baseball, basketball. We've got blogs, we've got videos, we've got columns from Lee Feinswag, Charles Hannegriff, Matt Moscona, myself, Derek Panamsky, and we've got a really good thing going over there. We invite you to check it out. And hey, there's a pretty good football team about to take the field in a week here in Baton Rouge as well, and we'll be all over that. So until next time, I am out of here. Lee and Matt Moscona will be right back here on Sports 225.